more than 20 persons, including the aspirant himself or herself. The particulars of persons accompanying the aspirant shall be submitted to the Commission in advance. An aspiring candidate will only use 2 vehicles for purposes of his or her nomination, and each vehicle should not carry more than 10 persons, the driver inclusive. Each of these vehicles shall bear a police sticker. The Commission strongly warns aspirants from mobilizing hundreds of supporters to accompany them to and from the nomination venue, as processions are not permitted along public roads during this exercise. For the avoidance of doubt, the incumbent president, who is also an aspirant, shall use such facilities as are ordinarily attached to his office, and this is in line with Section 28, subsection 2 of the Presidential Elections Act, that permits him to utilize the facilities attached to his office even though he is a candidate. The Uganda Police Force, I believe, has already published the arrangements for traffic flow along the routes leading and from the Electoral Commission nomination grounds here and the vicinity as per the traffic guidelines. We have here I think in charge of the traffic police and also their spokesperson. He will highlight more on these traffic guidelines. Upon successful nomination, candidates who wish to meet with their supporters to launch their manifestos are advised to organize and conduct such meetings in full compliance with the traffic regulations and laws governing public assemblies. The Commission, but I want to emphasize, these meetings for launch of manifestos are not part of the EC program. For us, the EC program with these nominated candidates begins on the 29th of September, when they're expected to go on the campaign trail, whereupon the guidelines governing those campaigns will be put into play. But before that, they'll be required to harmonize their campaign schedules altogether so that they know who will be in what part of the country on a particular or specific date. The Commission has designed a program that will facilitate swift conduct of the nomination exercise, given that the bulk of nomination documents, that is, the list of supporters, have already been verified in advance. I want you to note that aspiring candidates will be required to be physically present and submit all the requisite documents for verification. The Commission will, after scrutiny and upon satisfaction that the requirements have been made or fulfilled, declare the aspirant duly nominated. The nominated candidate will then briefly address the public through the media at the media center or point that is to be set up here at the nomination venue. Thereafter, the Electoral Commission will hand over the security vehicle and the security personnel to each candidate who have been nominated. In conclusion, the Electoral Commission calls upon all aspirants.
The day's program is going to run. I need to thank all NRM members and supporters that we have traveled a journey together from the 28th of February 2024, when we started the exercise of updating our party register. We reorganized the register, and from the register we got 20 million members of the party, and of the 20 million members, they all unanimously endorsed President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and actually they demanded that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni should offer himself for another term in office. When the president was moving around the countryside for the PDM tour, that call was all over, and there were resolutions made by party members conditioning him to offer himself to come to contest. And therefore, we are excited that he has accepted the party's call, and today we are nominating him as our official flag bearer for the 2026 general election. And therefore, we are extremely excited about this, and we pray that God should keep guiding him and giving him wisdom to make sure that Uganda gains the much needed desire of attaining total middle income status. Now, for today, we are in the next few minutes, we shall be organizing to travel to Electoral Commission office at Lubowa, and that is where the nomination will take place. We shall be going with a few party leaders. Only the members of the Central Executive Committee were allowed to accompany the president to the nomination venue. We shall finish the nomination, and then by 2 o'clock, we expect the national chairman, our presidential candidate, to join the rest of the party members at Korolo ceremonial ground for a dedication prayers. We want to dedicate him to God, and we want to dedicate the campaigns to God. And so we shall have interdenomination service for just a short time that we shall be using to dedicate our candidate to God, and to dedicate the campaigns to God, and to dedicate the country to God. Then after that, definitely we shall have very few speeches, and our candidate will greet his supporters, and then we shall call it a day. However, members have asked that we should allow entertainment from all over the country to show support and solidarity, and which is also a good way of unity of purpose. So we shall have entertainment from all corners of the country, all sub-regions, all musicians from all over the country are already in Kampala, and they are willing to entertain the president's guests the whole afternoon up to about 10 p.m. in the night. So that is how our day will run, and I'm happy to note that now as I speak, there are already people gathered at Korolo. They want to enter the Korolo ceremonial ground. People travel all over the night, and they're already at the venue. We have prepared refreshments for them. We have prepared enough resources that will keep them up to the day that they close the ceremony. And so that is how our day will run.
Honorable Todong, how different is today's nomination compared to the previous? Because it has been President Museveni. So what is the difference here?
The difference is that this one is demand-driven. It was demanded for by the party members. They were the ones who asked the president to offer himself. And therefore, he had actually to consult a lot in order to come to this decision that he made. And so it's different because it is a call by the party members. And that is why they are very excited whenever you see they have come voluntarily. Today you'll see how Korolo is going to be packed by party members to express their love and support to the president. And therefore I call upon those who are still on the way, please make sure you make your way to Korolo, and you must have seen over the news that even PLU and all other what we call the efforts that are there have joined hands to make sure we all consolidate our support to one candidate. And that is another success story that we have in this whole effort that we're making. So we are excited that the House is united. The movement house is back as a family, and we're very excited about this.
Right. I will add to what Robert has asked, and ask you, what does his nomination, the president's nomination, mean or say about the party's succession plan moving forward?
The one, before you even talk about anything to do with the succession doesn't start from one office. Succession starts from the bottom. And there are leadership succession, there are policy successions, so there are a lot of issues about succession. Is a big topic. And when you talk of succession, there are things you need to manage along the discussion of succession. You need to make sure that the economy is stable and peaceful. You need to make sure that there is peace and stability. You need to make sure that you manage expectations, and you need to make sure that you manage disappointments. So there are many things you have to manage along the way. And therefore we as a party, there are mechanisms in the party to discuss that at the right time. At this time, we are focusing at nominating a candidate who is going to contest on behalf of the party, and we are all in support for his candidature, and other things will have to wait at the right time.
Now, Honorable Todong, there are fears among some members that today your members, out of excitement, maybe they may over and infringe on the rights of other people. But also, we've ever seen when the president, as an aspirant, still was going to the forms, we've ever had issues of thuggery, robberies by people who are donned in yellow t-shirts. This is a much bigger event, and we expect so many people to come, so many of your supporters. Now, at a certain time, some said these were not your supporters. This time around, what are the safeguards you've put in place? I know you're not for security, but if these are having your shirts and end up committing offenses, it tarnishes the image of the party.
Robert, that is true, but there is something about human beings that you need to know. That in a human being, there are 4 boxes. The first box is what people know about you. The second box is what you know about yourself that others don't know. The third box is what is publicly known about you. And then the other box is how you improve yourself. So in this particular case, it's like a family. Every family has a way in which they discipline their children. And when there is confusion and there is chaos in the neighborhood, the community will say, no, this cannot be from this family. This cannot be somebody's son. This cannot be so-and-so's child. And that is how community judges. Whatever happens that we know, the quality of behavior and the characteristics of our members are known by the public. There are certain things we don't do as members of NRM. There are certain things we avoid. And therefore, when you see some of those behaviors, anybody will know that this is not NRM members. These are people who have been set up to dress in NRM t-shirts to cause this, to soil the image and reputation of NRM. And that was what happened the other time when our national chairman came to the party head office to pick his nomination forms in the party, and as we concluded the day, there were some reported cases of thuggery, burglary, and all that. Those who did that are not members of NRM. And we don't tolerate, and our members are very disciplined. We have sent information to them, and you'll see they are very orderly, very organized. They work in peace. And indeed, we move like we are in evangelization or political crusade. So when we find people along the way, we invite them to join us. We don't beat people. We don't steal. We don't abuse. We don't use any intoxicated substance. And therefore, those who do that are known, and which home they come from and which political shade they belong to. And that is why we are saying in NRM we are protecting the gains, because our gain is to make sure Uganda peace and security is consolidated, Uganda economy is consolidated and expanded, Uganda unity is enhanced and promoted.
Right. Now, Honorable, Uganda is 75% a youth-dominated country, many of whom have been born under the NRM regime and are now raising children still under the NRM regime. What message should they pick from today's nomination as well as the gathering at Kololo?
The youth should appreciate NRM, because in NRM they have become youth and matured and they are protected. In the past, young people would die before they celebrate their first birthday. And under NRM, every child born is safe and has grown and has been put in school and is informed and is knowledgeable. That is why there are youth who are informed and there are youth who are asking for credible issues. And that is a plus to NRM. 2, being young is a transition. You were talking about transition before. Being young is a period of, you are young today, tomorrow you are an elder, you will become an elder, and then it's a journey. And therefore, the NRM philosophy is we prepare you through this journey of life. The preparation starts from the time you are conceived. We tell your parents to make sure you are protected. They go for antenatal care. When you're produced, they give you vaccination and immunization, and then we put you under mosquito nets so you're not bitten by mosquito. You don't get all this. We preach about home hygiene, and we move from there and put you in schools under UP and USC so that you gain total holistic knowledge for life.
And ask you, what does his nomination, the president's nomination, mean or say about the party's succession plan moving forward?
An elder, you will become an elder, and then you are asked is informed, protected. In the past, young people would die before they celebrate their first birthday. And under NRM, every child born is safe and has grown and has been put in school and is informed and is knowledgeable. That is why there are youth who are informed and there are youth who are asking for credible issues. And that is a plus to NRM. 2, being young is a transition. You are talking about transition before. being young is a period of, you are young today, tomorrow you are an elder, you will become an elder, and then it's a journey. And therefore, the NRM philosophy is we prepare you through this journey of life. The preparation starts from the time you are conceived. We tell your parents to make sure you are protected. They go for antenatal care. When you're produced, they give you vaccination and immunization, and then we put you under mosquito nets so you're not bitten by mosquito. You don't get all this. We preach about home hygiene, and we move from there and put you in schools under UP and USC so that you gain total holistic knowledge for livelihood. Our education system is not only teaching high performance in school to get jobs. We are teaching each and every Ugandan to be knowledgeable about his environment, about life, so that if you're becoming a farmer, you are a farmer who is informed about the market, about the product. If you're becoming anybody, a husband, a wife, you have to know the role of parenthood. You have to know balanced diet. You have to know home hygiene. So our education system is holistic. And after that, we teach you about patriotism, love Uganda, love Africa, love everything about Uganda. And therefore, our system, if you care to understand, it builds on the other. It's like a building block. We put the foundation, we keep building step by step, and that is why we're saying we are protecting the gains. And therefore, being young is a blessing, but be a young person who is productive, and be a young person who can contribute positively to your country.
Honorable, we know we are in a multi-party dispensation, and today we are having 3 presidential candidates coming. You've talked about the success and the journey of NRM. I passed Kololo yesterday. I saw the preparations, the huge numbers of people expected to be there. But where does NRM get this money?
All these members who are coming have sponsored themselves to come. Nobody gives anybody money. Everybody who is coming is on his own. And we shall only give them drinking water at the venue and some small snacks to bite. That is all the party has prepared for them. They will come, attend, and go back. So there is no cost to this. And I'm sure if you say you're past Kololo, you saw that we did not even get tents. There are no tents. The only tent which is there is a presidential tent and for a few VIPs. The rest of the ground is open because we are going for general happiness. And that is how it is. So that if we are organized, we don't spend much money in some of those things. Yes.
Very interesting. Now, Honorable, allow us also get into a couple of comments that are coming through, and starting with one that reads, "Hello UBC, my name is Okelo Kiva Patrick from Gulu City. I'd like to thank Mr. Richard Odwong for